Greetings everyone, and welcome back to another mod showcase. And today we're going to be doing a review for PneumaticCraft. So PneumaticCraft is a very beneficial mod is because you can use pressure to make energy, or you can use energy to make pressure, and you can use pressure just to do many things. It's kind of very a underwhelming mod, just to say. Like, it's very easy once you start mastering how to make pressure and how to move it all around. I mean, I'm not going to go too much into detail with it because, well, it's a fun experience and I don't want to spoil it because I am definitely not a nerd. I'm 100% scientist and I am accurate with what I say. But anyways, we have the full Pneumatic helmet and everything on here. And if you want to know how to craft it, you just need air canisters, finished PCBs, and compressed iron helmets. And to get the helmet, you need compressed iron, and you need leather tunic of all types just to get the full set. And these are very important because they're actually a crafting ingredient as well. But anyways, if you want to get the compressed iron, you would have to use the pressure chamber, or you can just use TNT. But if you use TNT, you'll lose some iron along the way. So I highly recommend start saving some materials until you get yourself the pressure chamber, because it will help a lot. And over here, this is the sentry turret. So it has armor piercing minigun ammo and incendiary minigun ammo, and you can craft this just by using roughly enough items or just enough items, and you could just see how it's all crafted. It's like crafted to crafted. Like, even to make the minigun ammo itself, which is the main ingredient as well, you just need copper, gunpowder, and whoa, okay, so it is activating. So it's shooting one of the phantoms. So it's actually working in effect. So whenever the phantom is nearby trying to kill me, the turret is activated. See, it killed him. So it's set on mob, but there's many filters, and all you just gotta do is press F1, and you'll see that there's all the commands just to, you know, target a player, target a pig, target a stick, target someone holding a diamond in the hand. It's basically like a security measure, and it's very beneficial to keep players out and keep mobs away, or it could be used for farming like a warden or something. So yeah, I highly recommend having a ton of these if you want to make warden farms just for the deeper and darker mod. But anyways, we're going to progress in this laboratory, and this is my first time actually using a server's laboratory, because usually I just make my own from scratch in my single player world, but this is on a server. And this server is literally called the Baco Network server. This is I'm supposed to be doing a series on here, but it seems like I didn't want to continue it because it was so ambiguous. All the mods is literally the most big mod pack there is, and it's just very hard for me just to adapt. So I had to start very slow and with, you know, grindy mods. Like, there's just so many mods here. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But I just love this laboratory because I have put a lot of work into here, and this is where I learned a lot of PneumaticCraft. But anyways, so these are all the machineries, and this is the pressure chamber, where you can just put your iron in here, and you just get it compressed, and many other pieces. Like, say for example, like, look at all this compressed iron over here. I mean, I just use those iron farm thingies and just put them through the chest, and it just made the process easier. So we have the manual in here because the manual is supposed to help the player or help us understand how to use something. But I'm not sure if I misplaced it because I have the tendency of misplacing things, and I don't have time to mess with these whole settings and stuff. So this is the booklet that you need for PneumaticCraft Repressurized. And you can probably make the book just by using compressed iron and a book. And if you ever try to read anything or even interact with a block that's similar to the mod itself, you could just click just to view the entry, and it could just tell you how to make the pieces and also give you good, you know, dynamics and stuff. Like, it's basically just a lot of further information if you really want to comprehend how the mod works. And yeah, I do sound like a little bit of like a nerd or something. Deal with it. I mean, it's literally science in a nutshell. And over here, this is the oil refinery, where you just put your crude oil in here and it just turns into other fuel. So you're making fuel into fuel. And if you want to learn how to get to this crude oil, you can either use this machine, and I'm not sure what the machine is called, but it's useful just to track oil in different locations. And I might be in this reinforced chest over here. Wait, a smart chest. Yeah, that's a smart chest, and the other one is a reinforced chest. I think this is the reinforced chest. Yes, it is. It is. It's reinforced. And my voice does sound a little bit dry because I'm trying to get everything out. So, Let me see where that is, because I know I have that example and I'm just going through the motions. A seismic sensor is a early game item used to track down oil. Unlike most tools, the sensor does not require pressure to operate. When right-clicked, it will show whether or not oil was found somewhere directly below the block the sensor was clicked on. The seismic, sensor would just tell you everything in chat. So I think that's what it's called. It's called the seismic sensor, and I'm trying to figure out where I placed it. I might have placed it in the bottom room. Actually, never mind. It was in the chest. Man, this lighting is just very confusing. But anyways, so this is the seismic sensor, and what it does, it just tracks down if there's oil nearby. And the only way this thing would work is you just got to start clicking. Like, pretty much you just have to shift and click. You can see that it says no fluid found below. It will just keep pointing and doing whatever. Like, you got to actually click the ground, not the air. You got to click the ground. Sometimes you might, I don't know, cause something to miss, and you might miss a whole chunk there. But you got to go very far out, and then it will start reminding you where to go, the radius, the distance, and everything else. Like, this is very useful if you really want to look for that oil. And I mean, America would definitely get their hands on this device, because they'd be finding oils for days. I also found something very beneficial when I look at the quests here, and if I go look for Fumatic, because Fumatic is actually based on a technology mod. So it's technically technology. It may sound like pressure is not technology, but it is used as technology. And if you look here, I have completed most of the quests here. I mean, you might be saying, how is this related to the showcase? You're basically giving us a All the Mods 10 showcase. Yeah, in a sense, but I'm just showing you guys what I have done so far. So we have already made the smart chest, which requires 2 reinforced chests, diamond, a finished PCB, and an omnidirectional hopper. And to tell you, these omnidirectional hoppers are very good. They're way better than original hopper. Like I'm serious. They're a lot better than the original one. And we have is a programmer, and we have a security station. The security station supposedly keep your place from being raided, and I have actually done that in my 1.20.1 world, which there is a better example of it. But the problem is, I don't feel like, changing my mod pack many times, because it's very exhausting just to change from one to another. But anyways, if you just put all the key cards, all that requires, it would just tell you right over here, like it says add a diagnostic subroute and everything, then you will just be able to store like lots of these. And they do say you can actually stack like 64 security upgrades just to prevent people from getting in. Like, you can change the range of basically how protected the area is whenever interacting with the security station. And there's just a lot of information. And if you actually use the manual will actually teach you a lot more about the mod, but it will require some rereading over and over. Yeah, it does sound very educational, but it's helpful. And let me just eat this. Okay, that was a little delicious. Delicious. Okay, but anyways, let's continue on. And this is the example of using another mod, which is the industrial foregoing. And this here is the Fumatic Dynamo. So the dynamo requires pressure, and you got to use pressure cables like advanced pressure, because this is one of the highest tiers of the pressure mod. And you have to make a lot of compressed tools, and maybe using diamond and steel or whatever. And well, that was very laggy. Gotta be extra careful about that. So what happens is you have to put pressure in here, and you also got to make something very hot, meaning you have to develop heat. And I believe pressure makes heat, so that's why you got to be extra careful. Like right here, this says the security upgrade. The security upgrade can be used for protecting things, that also can be used to prevent something from exploding, because pressure can definitely kill these machines. Like, if the pressure has nowhere to escape, it makes an explosion. But luckily, it doesn't kill you, but it destroys the machine that maybe helped you along the way, and maybe a neighboring machine as well. So you got to be extra careful. So you got to know how to use pressure to your advantage. And also for the heat sinks and stuff, you got to be extra careful here too, because if you add heat to these, you will be burning. And if you make it too cold, it will make you freeze. So be extra careful. Some people use them for, I don't know, farms, but still be extra careful, because I am not responsible for any injuries. Also, to make it a lot easier for me without really explaining too much about each and everything around here, You can also hold shift just to get some information about each and every block that you made. So it says, for example, the flux compressor converts forge energy compatible with RF and many other mods energy into compressed air. It has a base efficiency of 40, and it will just give you a lot of information. And yeah, so you know what the flux compressor does, and you also will know what the solar compressor does. An advanced compressor that uses sunlight to pressurize air. Increase efficiency hotter it gets, but too much accumulated heat causes the compressor to shut down, requiring manual repair with a new solar cell. And it would mean you gotta make a lot of solar wafers to get the solar cell. Yeah, so this is why you gotta make sure everything is intact. You gotta stay stocked up on this stuff. And also we have the vortex cannon. And the vortex cannon is very useful, I think, in clearing trees and stuff, because I actually tried this before, and you can see that it's being recharged by one of my upgrades, because I have to add it through the the charging station, just to basically use it. So if I click it, it sends a sonic boom. So it kills like basically crops. And you can also use it to propel yourself, and you could just go crazy with it. Like, look at that. It sends little smoke clouds in the air. And I'm just sitting here just shooting sound waves. But I'm not sure how much damage does it do to like regular mobs. Maybe it does 2 hearts of damage. So let's just go to this chicken over here and just let me try it on him. Will he be able to fly like I did? Hey, he's swimming. Yeah, so pretty much it just pushes mobs around. So this has just been very beneficial, just to push yourself and push them around. I'm still trying to get out of here. Man, I really got myself in this situation. Let me try to get out of here. And this step situation is just very annoying. Hey, you want to fly? Let me just give you. Ow. That actually hurt. That's very dangerous. I mean, I do see myself trolling with this vortex. Like, look at that. That's a huge force. So if you try to push someone really far away, I mean, I would be using this vortex cannon just to, I don't know, push some people away. Yeah, I'm thinking about a particular someone, but I'm not going to say any names. Okay, so we are back in our laboratory, and I'm trying to figure out where we have left off. I know we were doing this, and then doing that, and then we somehow shot a chicken across the water. Okay, so I think it's the pressure chamber. Yeah, the pressure chamber is very important to make compressed iron and making other things like turbines and rotors, and also to make drones. Yeah, you can actually make drones that can go from place to place. And I have actually made a drone that do that, but it's kind of finicky because I'm still learning. So we do have this oil refinery here, which is the crude oil. I think I already explained this already, but you need to find crude oil just to make these other oils, and to make these other oils just to make, I don't know, food, or just to make heat or make lamps and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, if you just look at the manual, it will just give you a lot of information. Like, this mod is very underrated, like, trust me. And I also have made elevators with this mod as well. You can go up and down, but the reason why I can't do it here is because the server has a funny issue when it comes down to, like, you know, player griefing areas and stuff. I don't know too much about it, but I just can't test the elevator. But the elevator also requires pressure. You can also go up and down, but you gotta set the floors appropriately, and also read the manual. And I also forgot to talk about this contraption here. This is the station, or the assembly line. So this is the import unit, the assembly platform, the laser, the drill, and the assembly unit itself, just to make these tiles. And these tiles are very good just to make something look nice. So if I take one out, it's basically like a better version of a sign. Like, you could just say like hello, but actually let me just remove all this stupid code here and just take the word hello, and I can change the margin to make it bigger or smaller, make it invisible just to, you know, match up with the wall. I mean, that's kind of creepy. If you say, for example, you made one and it just says hello, you'd be creeped out, wouldn't you? Like, you might be thinking like you have a ghost in your laboratory. Very horrifying. Yeah, that's actually scary. Okay, so we do have this whole assembly line, so we can make like tiles, we can make compressed tubes, well, the advanced ones. Well, no, not the advanced ones. I think it's like the blue ones. So let me just go back into the catalog and type in the word Pneumatic, and there are 3 different pipes. So you have like the basic ones that have like 5 bar, then the red ones are 10 bar, and the blue ones are 20 bar. And this is the advanced pressure tube. So these are very important that you got to make some. Like, without these, you won't be able to transport a lot of energy from place to place or pressure to pressure. I don't know. I'm trying to find wordplay here. I mean, I'm kind of stuttery with it. And these are the machines that I was using just to pressurize this. And these are liquid compressors. You might be saying, which one is better, the basic ones or the liquid ones? I would say the liquid ones last a lot longer than the fuel ones, because the fuel ones kind of just burn out quicker if you ever add speed upgrades. So yeah, using liquids is better, guys. And I also forgot one more thing to tell you. See, available fuels. So it's based on what fuels you have. So you have all these different types of fuels. So the bottom ones are all the weak ones, and the ones with like 1.25 or 1.50, these are the better ones. So go for the higher ones. They last longer. If you go for the low ones, then you're basically going to maybe burn out the fuel faster. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys the drill, because this mod is very cool. Like, very, very cool. And this is where I was talking about the programmer and the security station. So I have all this random stuff in here, even the drill. So let me just pull all this out. So I was doing all this setting up because it's very complicated, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be wondering, how do I know about setting up a drone and stuff? So let me just put the drone here or something. I guess you got to click it just to make it, do something. Oh, my drone died. Yeah, I'm not sure why it died. But see, this is what the code I was using, and all I just did was put start, make it, take from it inventory, standby, then let it export, then it goes to the location, and it dies. And every time I place it, it dies. And yeah, I'm not sure why it's lagging. I don't know. I'm a bit creeped out. I think I should put the drone back in here just for it to work. You got to put it right here. And it's also going to require some puzzle pieces, in which you got to make programming puzzle piece used by the programmer when writing programs to a drone or network API. Either keep these pieces in your inventory or put them in an inventory adjacent to the programmer, which I have right here. So it's going to keep grabbing, all the puzzle pieces every time I make a change or even add pieces to it. So I have to see if I have any fuel that I have to, take from the chest, or not fuel, ore. Like, say, for example, there's some ore in there, and I want it to, pull from one place to another. So if I press start, then the code should be working. Wait, actually, I got to set the drone down. So I think I had set up a hopper over here where every time it died, it just dies and stuff, and it just respawns and does what it's supposed to do. And, man, I've been all over the place. I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's see. Let me just go and look for my hopper, okay? Then I can do the showcase with the drone. Okay, so I have placed down my hopper, and now I'm trying to work with my drone. I'm not sure why my drone is not, acting like a drone. Like, I'm sitting there pressing start, and it's nothing happening. Like, I don't get it. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm not sure if this is broken, because I keep seeing two of these dead drones here. And I don't want it to die anymore. So let me try to remove this suicide code. Yeah, let me just see if I can just remove it. Yeah, can I remove this code? This code is very useless. And let me put the drone back in there, because I probably don't want it to die anymore. There we go. And yeah, drone, do your thing. Start your function. Actually, this is the way of how I did my drone. Usually when you put this all together, it's supposed to work. But it seems like we're going through a malfunction. And, yeah, they kind of just, they're just dying in midair, just kind of existing, but they're just not there. I mean, that was a bummer. I thought that this experiment would actually be a fun one, because I want to see drones fly back and forth and actually work for me, because it makes my job a lot easier instead of me just walking from place to place. And we also have a bacon sandwich. I mean, there's some good bacon, but yet that's too high on sodium. I forgot to mention about this machine right over here, and this is called AI, or our aerial interface. Aerial. Well, Ariel. I don't know. It sounds like I'm saying Ariel like the Little Mermaid on, Disney or something. Yeah, so this is the aerial interface, and if you look at the information, it's very interesting. By using the advanced technology which compresses items so much they become small as atoms, this machine can use a player's inventory as its own. This means you can hopper items in and out of this machine, and they will be added or removed to the inventory of the player who placed the block. Smarter insertion methods like drone and or logistic frames, or indeed other mods, and it will be used in a beneficial manner. So I didn't read the other parts because it actually just means you can literally just put anything in here and it would just go right to your inventory. If I put my bacon sandwich in here and I just put a hopper in it, it will go right back to me. It's literally like it's like an inventory that I'm sharing with something else. Like, this thing knows me very well, and this is why I call it AI, aerial interface. And to make all this stuff here is very expensive, and it will require a lot of grinding. And I may have, I guess, explained everything with Pneumatic. I also forget to talk about my armor. I'm wearing the Pneumatic set, and this set is very good. It's very underrated. It's a lot better than Diamond, in my opinion. But if you want to know how to make this stuff, just use roughly enough items, just enough items, or not enough items just to make it, because it requires air canisters, a lot of them, and compressed iron helmet, like I said earlier, is a crafting recipe. And this is a finished PCB, which requires you to make cards and UV lights and stuff. I mean, like I said, read the manual. It's just right there, and it's the 2nd edition. I mean, nothing has changed. It's right there, okay? It's right there. But anyways, if you want to know how to add the upgrades to the Pneumatic armor and stuff, we got to go right back into the laboratory that we were talking about, AI. And I think it's right here. And this is the charging station. It's the weirdest way that I place my my charging station is because, I mean, pressure is pressure. So you can see that the only way we can add upgrades is by putting it through the charging station. So say, for example, if you want to add my Pneumatic helmet, that's when you put your upgrades in here. And on the side, it tells you what can be equipped. So you will know like where to place things, and you can, take advantage of it. And also, it also tells you the upgrades too. Like if you want to know, say, how to get, item life upgrade. So you will know like what this means. It uses pressure just to repair stuff. It's very cool. Like, just read more about it and you'll learn how to be a pressure master. And have I actually explained everything? I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go back to my suit. Because, I mean, PneumaticCraft is a very interesting mod, but it can be sometimes overwhelming if you don't put the time into it just to study it. So that's why I recommend reading the manual. Anyways, so if I open U or press U, that's the default keybind, you can see that there's different things I have added on my suit. So we have block tracker, so we can track blocks. So if you enable this, you can also use keybinds just to make it easier. So anyways, we have enable mob spawners, miscellaneous blocks, enable forge energy blocks, so we can actually track things. So it's like X-ray in a nutshell. And we can also track down end portal frames. We can find the end easily without actually using, I guess, like, eyes of enders and stuff. So we actually save a lot of time. And as you can see here, we can find blocks like infested blocks. We can find spawners. We can literally find anything that we would want. And you can see here we have fluid tanks. We have infested stone. You can see that there's like a chest. It can also read fluids in the machines. Like you can see that there's different numbers in them. This is very beneficial if you really want to like get around and actually find things. I mean, I recommend making the block tracker because you'll be finding spawners and things really fast, and it requires pressure. And the coordinate tracker is used just to track down your coordinates. All you just got to do is enable it. Then you got to select the target, click it in your laboratory, and then you'll know where you're going at. If you use navigate to surface, it says found a non-ideal route. It requires actions like nerd polling, something like that. I don't know what that means. It's so nerdy that I can't even understand it. But I can turn that off, and you have core components where it shows like pressures and stuff, like numbers and whatever. And we also have entity tracker where we can track down an entity like a player or probably like a spider or maybe like a zombie. So we will know like what mobs are in the location or in the chunk, and it can actually help us identify the threat earlier. So we have also the scuba, which allows you to breathe underwater. You got the auto charger, so the auto charger charges all my other stuff, like, charges your helmet, your leggings, and your boots. So that's very beneficial. The jump boost just makes you jump higher. So if I run out here and I try to jump over top of this part of the laboratory, you see that? It's literally good jump boost. Very beneficial. And you can also change it to make it stronger, make it higher or you can make it lower. So let me try putting that 20%. Well, I don't think it changes anything. Let me try this higher. Oh yeah, it does. It does. So if you set it to like 0, it's like medium height. If you set it to like 15 or 16, it's still fairly high. So you can literally just jump over blocks, but it also requires pressure. And we have fall protection. Fall protection is very beneficial. So let me just use jump boost, because jump boost and all this can be very beneficial. And this jump boost is so easy that you can, you know, travel across terrain really fast. And we also have fall damage. So that would mean we will never take fall damage. So I can jump as high as I want, and the damage is just soaked. So I can fall from a very high place unless I have enough pressure in my boots. And make sure you install volume upgrades, because that's the only way you can hold pressure in everything a lot longer. So volume upgrades are better. So is there anything else I have not gone over with? So we have jet boots. Jet boots, let me turn this off. For protection is useful. Step assist. Step assist helps you walk up and down the blocks really easily. So yeah, that's pretty much everything with the basics, because I had to go through every piece of detail because it's very cool. Like, nobody actually cares about Fumatic that much, only just to get a piece for the Automodium. Like, literally, it's just used for Automodium. And same goes for Extreme Reactors. Man, those mods are being done dirty. And that's just me thinking like that. But anyways, the last but not least thing here is the jet boots. And these jet boots are very beneficial. So if I turn them on, I can fly around. So this is builder mode. I think to set the keybind, it's set to W. If I set to W, you can see that there's different modes. So if I press U again, right now it's in builder mode. So it's like I can easily just build, you know, it's like very slow hovering. You can also see a little bit of the smoke, you know, coming out. So we have builder mode. We have enable flight stabilizers. I think this helps you to, like, I guess, manage. And you gotta be extra careful because you don't want to die. You got hover, which I believe helps you just hover around. Like, you can just be hovering. Like, you can see this? We're still hovering. So it's like we're actually are wearing a jetpack. And then we have smart hover. So I believe it probably goes in a certain direction or something. Oh yeah, we can also go up. We can also go down. I think that's what it is. Smart hover or smart, you know, pressure or whatever. And these Phantoms are out during the daytime. That's really something that they should not even be out here doing. But I actually prefer just not turning none of those on, and you just fly around like you're Iron Man. And all these require is literally just some vortex cannons, and you just be flying around. So this is like the fastest way to get an Elytra without actually getting Elytra. Like, all you just need is a lot of volume in your chest plates, and then all you just got is a good amount of time to fly. So it would mean goodbye Elytras. No need just to get mending, because mending would just be a waste of time. It's time to use pressure, because pressure is better. We need pressure. Pressure keeps us alive. And I don't know where I'm at because I'm flying at very high speeds. And saying of high speeds, oh no, why did I click all that? But saying by high speeds, we can also change the power, or we can even fly even faster, more faster than we normally are. And this is literally the fastest way. Oh no, so much lag. No, get out of here. We were not supposed to be there. We were in a claim, and we could have died in that claim with all our good stuff. No way. We have worked so hard to get Fumatic. I don't want to throw it away. But if you change the speed, you can go as fast as you want. And look at that. If we even go higher, it looks like we're just going up into space. Like, this is so cool. Like, we could just keep flying for indefinitely until the pressure runs out. But, I mean, why would anybody want to do that? Like, look at this. We look like we're, like, flying in the sky, like, for real. Like, we're just chilling. Yeah, I actually love this. Oh, no! Well, okay, we kind of survived that fall too. And you can see that it took all that pressure away from that fall damage. We were so high up that we died, or almost died. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be extra careful. If you got good volume boots, yeah, you're fine. So yeah, I think that should conclude for the whole entire showcase for PneumaticCraft for 1.21. And I know this is going to be the same routine for any update, because anytime there's always a change log, it's just going to keep changing. They might add one thing or the next, and I'm not going to stand in the rain while I'm trying to give out an outro. That is so rude, Mother Nature. But anyways, this is going to conclude for the showcase for PneumaticCraft, and I hope everybody finds it very enjoyable and helpful in a way. I mean, this is something I never do. I never use a world or a server where I actually built the laboratory based on a previous series. Then I had to cancel it because I just don't think it was worth it. So I thought about just recycling it, or just repurposing it in a scientific sense, just to make a showcase, because this is PneumaticCraft and I have fully mastered it. Because if I open my quests over here and go down to PneumaticCraft, you can see that I have made a lot of things along the way. I haven't really touched these yet, but even if I made these, like for example, the Gilded upgrade, it just prevents me from getting attacked from piglins, and the Elytra upgrade actually requires an Elytra. I mean, why would I even want that if I can actually just get the jet boots? They're a lot better. And this one is radiation shielding upgrade. This is useful for mechanism. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. And yeah, I just hope you guys have all the information that you needed. And the information is from this book. This manual will help you a lot. Just take your time and read it, and then you'll get the hang of all this. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video or find it helpful in some sort of way, then leave a like. If you want to watch more of me do some more mod showcases, something like PneumaticCraft, and probably working with Applied Energistics or something, because I never really touched on that, because that mod is very complicated and it requires a lot of wires. Maybe I might do Refined Storage, since I probably know a little bit more about that one than Applied Energistics. I mean, what do you think? Should I just go with Applied Energistics, not Energistics, or Refined Storage? But like I said, if you like, don't like, subscribe, definitely. And until then, I'll see you guys on my next experiment doing something else. And let me just take off my helmet because I do need to breathe. But anyways, see you guys next time in my laboratory.